Ever scroll through old photos on your phone and get that, well, slightly creepy feeling? Like, what happens to all this digital stuff when we're gone?
It's the question we all avoid, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But thankfully, someone's got to tackle the big digital beyond, and that's where Charonium comes in,
With a plan, no less. They've put together this whole white paper.
which we've been digging into. It's their grand scheme
Uh-huh.
to secure your, get this, digital legacy.
Catchy, right.
Definitely. But before we get into their whole solution, let's talk about the problem they're trying to solve. What's the issue here?
Think of it this way. We've got wills, safety deposit boxes, all that for our physical stuff.
Makes sense. That's important stuff.
Right. But what about, say, your Bitcoin? Or those online bank accounts, even those old social media posts you swore you deleted years ago?
Oh man, the cringe is real.
It's all part of your digital footprint, and it has real value, sentimental, financial, you name it. But after someone's gone, how do you actually access any of that?
Not like you can just ask for the password from, you know.
Exactly. And not having a plan, it can be a disaster. Charonium, they cite this study, 80%, a ridiculous amount of internet users have zero plans for their digital estate.
Wait, 8 out of 10 people haven't even thought about this.
Not a single thought. That's a recipe for lost data, forgotten fortunes, the works.
Okay, so we've established this is a big deal. A digital ghost of ourselves just floating around. So what's Charonium's grand plan to fix it? They're not messing around. I'll give them that. It's a whole ecosystem. Physical hardware, digital services, even their own cryptocurrency, the SETI-YX token.
A multifaceted approach.
Yeah.
You've got to admire the thoroughness.
For sure. And they've got this flagship product. It's called the Charonium Fragment 12. And honestly, it's kind of cool.
Low tech, but effective.
Right. It's this credit card-sized piece of fireproof steel, and you actually engrave your 12-word seed phrase onto it.
So even if your computer goes kaput, your accounts vanish, you've still got this analog backup.
Pretty smart, right? But hold on, what if I'm not quite ready to go full crypto kingpin? What about us regular folks?
For those who want even more security, they offer the Charonium Fragment.
24.
Okay, 24 what?
It uses this idea called key sharding. Basically, imagine a treasure map chopped up into pieces.
Interesting.
The one piece is useless on its own, but put them all together. You find the loot.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Same idea here. Your private key gets split into fragments, hide them in different spots, give them to different people.
So even if one piece goes missing, your crypto is still safe and sound. That is serious security,
Yeah.
but maybe a bit much for some.
Exactly, and that's why they also offer the legacy service. Think of it like a digital executor for your online life.
So you're saying, like, I can designate someone to access my stuff if something happens to me.
Precisely.
That actually makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
they've got the high security route, but also a way to keep things simple.
Exactly. They've really tried to think of everything.
So Charonium's got us covered, whether we're crypto pros or just starting out. But it's not all just like locking things away, is it? They have that Charonium underverse. Now that sounds interesting.
It's a unique concept, a bit exclusive, you could say.
Exclusive, how so?
To get into this underverse, you need to own one of their NFTs, or you'd need a sizable chunk of their SETI-YX token.
Okay, so it's a club for the digitally devoted. But what's actually in this underverse, what makes it so special? It's like they took everything we know about, well, death and legacy, mixed it with all the latest tech, and hit frap.
An apt analogy, you've got Charonium Eternal on the one hand, allowing you to, for lack of a better term, leave messages from beyond.
Whoa, really? Like AI-generated messages to loved ones?
Exactly. Imagine receiving a birthday video from your great-grandmother who passed away years ago.
Okay, now that is both sweet and a little spooky. Like heartwarming,
Yeah.
but also kind of creepy, you know?
It challenges our understanding of death, that's for sure.
No kidding. And then, switching gears completely, you've got the Charonium Living Urn.
Now that one is quite interesting. Instead of a typical urn, your ashes are, well, they're combined with sawdust and mycelium.
Mycelium, isn't that like fungus stuff?
The root network of mushrooms, to be precise. It's all put into this biodegradable urn. So as the urn breaks down, the mycelium goes to work, consuming the organic matter, and eventually mushrooms sprout.
So it's like your final resting place turns into the symbol of, like, rebirth. Wow. Talk about a contrast. High-tech solutions meet natural processes.
It speaks to a growing awareness of our place within the natural world, even as we delve deeper into the digital one.
Absolutely. Okay, speaking of the digital, let's talk about that STI-UX token. It seems to be everywhere with Charonium. What's
Yeah.
the deal?
The STI-UX token, it's the currency of their ecosystem, essentially.
Ah.
Use it to buy their products, get access to special features like the Underverse we were just talking about.
So, like, the more .x you have, the more you can do.
Exactly. And there's even a chance to have a say in the direction of the company through their DAO.
DAO, as in a decentralized autonomous organization.
That's the one. It's like a digital co-op where you can vote on things.
Interesting. So it's about having a voice, being part of the Charonium community. But there's more to it than that, right? What was that thing about a token burn?
Right. So Charonium uses 12.5% of their revenue to buy back StyYX tokens, then they burn them.
Burn them. Okay, now I'm lost.
They're permanently removing those tokens from circulation.
Got it. So fewer tokens available, but the demand stays the same or goes up.
It could potentially boost the value of the remaining tokens, yes.
So securing your digital legacy could actually be an investment. Huh. Who knew? But let's talk a little bit more about their future plans. What else is in Charonium's pipeline? They've got physical backups, digital executors, AI messages, even mushroom urns. What else could they possibly come up with?
Well, if their roadmap is anything to go by, they're just getting warmed up. There's the Charonium Vault. Sounds like a seriously next-level crypto wallet, all about maximum security.
Makes sense. Got to keep that crypto safe.
Exactly. And then there's the Charonium Cerberus, a USB stick, but we're talking Fort Knox levels of security here.
For our most top-secret digital stuff, I'm guessing.
You got it. It's pretty clever, all these underworld-themed names, right?
It fits, though, right? With a company named Charonium. Okay, but beyond all the cool gadgets, let's talk big picture for a sec. Does Charonium actually solve this whole digital afterlife thing?
That's a tough one. It's a complex issue, no easy answers. I mean, they're pushing boundaries for sure, starting the right conversations about digital legacy.
Right, getting people thinking about it at all is huge.
Exactly. But we got to remember tech is only part of the equation, right?
What do you...
Even with the best tech in the world, human error still exists. What if someone forgets their seed phrase, loses a fragment of their key?
Oh, right. Back to square one.
Exactly. Plus, there's the whole legal side, the ethical questions about inheritance. It's still a gray area, legally speaking, in a lot of the world.
That's a great point. So where do we go from here? What can our listeners do, even if they're not ready to invest in all this high-tech stuff just yet?
The biggest thing, just start talking about it. Have those conversations with your loved ones about your digital assets, your online accounts, all of it.
Makes sense. Start the conversation rather than avoiding it.
Precisely. Make a list of important logins, passwords, that kind of thing. Store it somewhere safe. And don't be afraid to explore the options out there.
Whether it's a service like Charonium or something else entirely, figure out what works for you.
It's about taking control of your digital life, even after you're gone, deciding how you want to be remembered in this increasingly online world.
It's wild to think about. Well, folks, it's a brave new digital world out there, and Charonium, they're definitely leading the charge into the great digital beyond.
They've given us a lot to think about, that's for sure.
This whole deep dive, it's been eye-opening. And whether you're a tech whiz, a crypto fanatic, or just someone who cares about what happens to their data, one thing's for sure, the conversation's just getting started. Thanks for joining us for the ride.